Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Memphis Cat is back with his Heaven on Earth tour.
I tried to be incognito, but thanks to Shannon Sharp's loud mouth, the gig is up.
February 22nd in the FedEx Forum.
In my spare time, I infiltrate the Illuminati. Look for their secrets. Run back. Tell y'all.
Don't miss this year's most talked about comedy icon live. He's back with brand new material, an unmatched wit, and an electrifying performance. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right. I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from Midtown Manhattan, New York City. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready for a fun night inside FedEx Forum because hopefully we got one on tap. Grizz Rockets special tip time, 8:30 tonight. Adjust your schedules. Tickets available. Grizzlies.com. We're going to get you ready for it momentarily. It's 2 of the top 3 teams in the West. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. The next segment, about 20 minutes, Mike Wallace is going to join me, senior editor, Grind City Media. He'll help us get ready for tonight's game. Rockets are in town. Mike Wallace will jump in studio. He'll be with me in about 20 minutes. When I finish talking to Mike, take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know. At which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories, among them Penny Hardaway's Tigers. Back on the court tonight. Down in New Orleans, Tulane's the opponent. We'll get you all prepared for that. We're going to do it in about 40 minutes. Ole Miss snapped its 3-game losing streak last night. Down in the Pavilion in Oxford. Beat Texas. Chris Beard over his alma mater. We'll spend some time on that. We'll do it a little later on in the show. Video has been published of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift celebrating after the AFC title game. It's sweet. I thought it was sweet. We'll show it to you. I'll get Bennett's thoughts. We'll do that in the third segment. Caitlin Clark has turned down NBA All-Star Weekend. Seems like a smart business move. I'll tell you why in just a bit. And, I stayed up with this all night last night. Horrific scene in our nation's capital. An American Airlines flight from Wichita collided with a helicopter above the Potomac River. I went to bed, fingers crossed, woke up, headline, everybody is presumed dead. We'll spend a few minutes on that. During a segment we call 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry out, we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. Got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 48 of a scheduled 82 set for tonight, downtown Memphis. It's a good one. It's a good one. Rockets Grizz inside FedEx Forum. And it's not just a good one because Dylan Brooks is in town. Steven Adams is in town. It's a good one because the second-place Rockets, Bennett's favorite team, is in town tonight. Houston's 32-14. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They're alone in second Western Conference standings. The Rockets are 5 games back of Oklahoma City, 1.5 games ahead of the Grizzlies. Defensive rating, number 4. Offensive rating, number 10. Again, alone in second in the West. Third best record in the entire NBA. Big Bet Bennett, here's a list of the teams right now with better winning percentages in the NBA than your favorite team, the Houston Rockets. Oklahoma City, Cleveland. That's it. Boston hasn't won at a better rate. Neither has New York, Milwaukee, Denver, or the Clippers, or the Lakers, or the Grizzlies. The Rockets have drafted some promising players. They've added, through free agency, some promising players. And now they have, based on the record, one of the very best teams in the entire world. Bennett, on a scale of 1 to 7, because that's the way we do things around here, 1 to 7. On a scale of 1 to 7, how excited are you tonight to see one of the best teams in the NBA, which also happens to double as your favorite team in the world?
Wait, why is that my favorite team in the world?
Because you talk about them all the time, and you just, every time I bring them up, you're like, Dylan Brooks. I love Dylan Brooks.
Oh, yeah, he's great. I love him. I hate every team from Houston. That's been clearly established on this program for years. I know. I hate all Houston franchises.
It was clearly established 4 years until they got Dylan Brooks, and then it felt like things changed.
Well, I'm a Dylan Brooks fan, yes. That's why I wish he wasn't on that team. How about that?
Well, then how about this then? How about this then? Why don't I shut up? I'll let you speak for yourself. On a scale of 1 to 7, rate your love affair with the Houston Rockets.
0. 0 out of 7.
Then why are you always talking about them? Like every time I'm like, we're gonna catch them by the middle of the week.
I have to talk about the teams that are really good in the league. GP, they're better than us, and they appear to be that right now.
But you don't have to talk about them the way you talk about them every time. I just
gotta call like it is.
Okay, fine. But I've been watching you call it how it is, and for several weeks now, I've been on this campaign, Bennett, where I'm like, we're gonna pass them. We're gonna pass these dudes at some point. And I even had it pinned down to the date. If you remember, it was supposed to be last week, and it didn't happen. Okay, then it was supposed to be, I think, tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Tonight we were gonna pass. Yes.
And now we can't because they went to Atlanta and they won. Because they never lose. They won 4 in a row. And every time I even bring up the idea of passing the Rockets, you're like, but GP, they're really good. Have you seen Jalen Green? Have you seen Alperen Şengün? I'm surprised you ain't got Alperen Şengün tattooed on your face at this point.
I mean, they are pretty good. No, I'm fired up for the game. As far as my level of excitement for the game out of 7, 6.5. Yeah, like I'm fired up for this one. I wish it started a little bit earlier, but that's okay. I'll be ready.
I don't even mind that it doesn't. I'm so excited for today. I know you probably can't see it on my face because my face probably looks like a face that slept for 2 hours and then got up and now I'm talking to you. I know you probably can't see it on my face. I'm actually genuinely excited for tonight. Lots of reasons. I don't have to put on a suit today. This is about as dressed up as I'm going to get today. I don't have to go back in studio. I'm just here in New York City. And there was a time where I was like, I'm in the best city in the world. I could do anything tonight. I could go see one of the shows that Jess has been telling me about. I could go to the movies and see The Brutalist. You know, that's playing here. Everything's playing here. I could sleep, and I'm definitely doing that. Probably more in the afternoon than the night, but I'm definitely doing that. I could do anything in the world I want to do tonight. This is the whole world right here. You know what I said? I'm sitting right here in this room. I'm turning on this big TV, TNT, big stage that TNT provides, and I'm watching the Rockets and the Grizzlies. Given the opportunity to do anything in the entire world that I could possibly do in the greatest city in the world, I'm going to choose to sit in my hotel room and watch Bennett's favorite team against my favorite team. It's my favorite team against your favorite team tonight, Bennett.
Not
How do you
my
think it's going to go
down? The Grizzlies are my favorite team.
Every time I bring up Yuki, you're like, yeah, that's a cool story. And then I say Jalen Green, and you get erect.
That's not true at all. That is absolutely not true. I was feeling pretty optimistic about tonight, but
Oh,
unfortunately, our old friend Grizzlies PR as of 9 minutes ago, status update: Ja Morant right shoulder soreness is questionable tonight against the Rockets. So we'll see.
Just playing with us? Do you think they're just playing with us at this point?
Do I think they're just playing with us? No. On a scale of 1 to 7, I'll say I'm about a 5 that they're not playing with us.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 7, I'm probably like a 5.56 that they're not playing with us. All right, I'm going to trust the integrity of Grizzlies PR, but I swear to God, man.
Every time I get excited, every time.
I mean, I'm just sitting here on 2 hours sleep, and I'm not looking forward to anything more in this world than Grizzlies Rockets tonight on TNT in a hotel room. And then I'm like, because I know how this works, I know there's a handful of things you got to do before you start the GP show. You got to make sure you're all lined up with your background, right? You got to check your mic, and then you got to check Grizzlies PR to make sure they haven't ruined your life. And sure enough, woke up this morning, they've ruined my life. Ja Morant is questionable. He's got a shoulder issue. Hey, Bennett, on a scale of 1 to 7, how optimistic are you that Ja Morant's going to play tonight?
5.2. 5.2.
Your mouth says 5.2, but your face did not say 5.2.
5.2. 5.2.
Your mouth is at 5.2, but your face does not say 5.2.
No, I can't remember like anything. I was trying to think like back to the Knicks game. I try to erase it from my memory forever. There was never a moment in that game that it looked like something happened to him or anything like that. He didn't play a lot in the fourth quarter, obviously, because they were getting destroyed. So hopefully it's nothing.
Hopefully it's nothing, except Bennett, by definition, if it was nothing, it wouldn't be on the status report.
That's fair, yep.
Hey, back to your favorite team, the Rockets. In all seriousness, let's stop joking for a second. It is kind of a neat story because in an era of basketball where the high-profile franchise in San Francisco is trying to figure out how to build a contender, and they don't know how. The high-profile franchise, I guess both of them in LA, trying to figure out how to build a contender. Neither one of them can get there. The Rockets have gone out and drafted well, signed impactful free agents, one of whom is Dylan Brooks, and they've built quite literally one of the best basketball teams in the world. Like, we'll get back to joking around in a second, but if that were us, we would want people to applaud us. That's them. I'm comfortable applauding them.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think anybody – I thought – coming into the season, I think there were people out there saying that they thought they would be improved. Obviously, you went and got a great coach. You signed a couple veterans to go with these young guys. You drafted Amen Thompson. I don't think anyone thought he was going to be what he is right now. And man, yeah, it's working out well for them. They're really, really good. Like, I've watched them a bunch now lately just because of them being in the 2 seed and the Grizzlies trying to pass them. And dude, they're just a well-rounded team, man. They really are. Jalen Green, like, that's a guy that I just was not that high on. And even watching him like his first couple seasons, I was like, okay, yeah, like he's a solid NBA player, but is he ever going to be like a star level player in this league? I mean, he's playing like it. He's been awesome.
Yeah, no, you know what he was going to be? An empty stats guy. Somebody who averages 23 points a game, but for no reason.
Right. Just on a bad team, put up in points. Yep.
That's what he looked like. Yep. I don't know that that's what I thought he was going to be. I don't know that I put that much thought into it. That's the point. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even care. It's just Jalen Green down in Houston. Who cares? What? A great high school prospect who had a weird college recruitment. Yeah. Got drafted. Now he can score in the NBA. Everybody always knew he was going to be able to do that, but he's doing it for a bad team. Who cares? I didn't even put any thought into it. I didn't care. But while I wouldn't put any thought into it, they actually built one of the best teams in the world. They drafted Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, Amen Thompson. Jabari Smith's hurt right now, but like that's still on the roster. Yep. Tari Eason. And then I don't think you could overstate this. And will never do revisionist history. I can believe two things at the same time. it was time for Dillon Brooks to be out of Memphis. Dillon Brooks has been an important and impactful, positive signing for the Houston Rockets. Both of those things are true. It was time for him to go. He's been good for them. But they went out and not only signed quality veteran NBA players to mix with their young guys that they've acquired through the draft, they went out and got guys with a certain sort of mindset. Mm-hmm. Like, you can like Dillon Brooks, not like Dillon Brooks. He's wired a certain way, and there's value to that in the regular season. Like, he comes every night ready to play. If not every night, more nights than most. And then Fred VanVleet's just a winner, man.
Yeah, we didn't mention him. Yeah,
he won in college. He won in Toronto. I'll never forget. He was a role player at Wichita State the year that they went to the Final Four. Just a guy on the team. And they were good, clearly, because you can't go to a Final Four without being good on some level, even at the mid-major level. But they were coming out of the Missouri Valley Conference, and they were a good NBC team up until they make a run and they go to the Final Four. The next year, they bring back some quality pieces from that team, among them Fred VanVleet, and they got off to a ridiculous start. They ended up, I believe, going undefeated the entire regular season, NBC tournament, didn't lose a game until they lost to John Calipari's Kentucky Wildcats in the second round of the NCAA tournament. It was in St. Louis. I was there. But that team was a number 1 seed and awesome. Fred VanVleet was the heart of that. And at some point in that season, the way I remember it, you'd have to double check me on it, but it was the weekend of the AFC and NFC championship games. And I went to Wichita on that Sunday, in between games at Kansas on that Saturday and Monday. And I feel like this is the same year Andrew Wiggins and Joel Embiid were maybe at Kansas, because I kind of remember seeing Joel Embiid be awesome, and then in between those games, going to Wichita to spend time with Greg Marshall and Fred VanVleet and everything that was going on at Wichita State. At the time, Steve Forbes, now the head coach at Wake Forest, was an assistant on Greg Marshall's team at Wichita State. And I'm talking to Greg Marshall, and I'm talking specifically about Fred VanVleet. And he says, there's a whole bunch of reasons I recruited him, even though he's not the most athletic point guard in the world or the tallest or in possession of any of the physical attributes you'd want a point guard to have. Like, almost none of them. He's little. He's not athletic. He's not the quickest. This is all the reasons he went undrafted coming out of college. And Greg Marshall said, but then I'd go see him play. It didn't matter what the stage was. It could be the biggest grassroots tournament, smallest grassroots tournament. He was unheralded. He didn't play for one of the big Nike EYBL teams out of New York or California or Detroit or Memphis. He played for his little local team. It was just him and a bunch of dudes who lived around him. And I remember Greg Marshall saying this. He would get into a game against a team that had a 5-star point guard, a 4-star point guard, a point guard who's ranked in the top 50 in his junior class, a point guard who's ranked in the top 20 in his senior class. And Greg Marshall explained it. It didn't matter who he was playing against. His team won. He could be playing against a 5-star point guard with better teammates, and somehow, some way at the end of it, Fred VanVleet's team kept winning. They just won all the time. And obviously they didn't win all the time, but you get the point. That's the main thing Greg Marshall noticed about Fred VanVleet. Think about this for a second. You're a college basketball coach. You go to evaluate a prospect. And the main thing you notice is not his athleticism, his size, his quickness, his ball handling, his vision, his shooting. The main thing you notice is that he wins every time. I don't really know why this is happening, but every time at the end of it, his team has more points than the other team. I'll take that guy. You get him on your campus, you go to a Final Four. The next year, you go undefeated through the whole thing. He's a winner. He's a winner. He won a championship in Toronto. He might not have been the best player on that team, but he was a part of it. That mindset permeates through your entire roster. And I have no doubt if you were talking to anybody in the Houston franchise, they would tell you right now he's been a part of this entire thing, a big part of it. Not just because of what you see in the box scores, but because of what's happening behind the scenes, in the practice gym, in the locker room. He's a winner. He's made of the right stuff. One of my favorite things in the NBA is sincerely watching Fred VanVleet become what he has become. This is a young man who was not supposed to be here on this type of contract, on this type of team with a championship ring already. This is a young man who went undrafted out of college. There's a moment, look it up on YouTube, you'll find it. Fred VanVleet's last college game, I believe, was against Arizona. Sean Miller was the coach there. And there's this moment in the handshake line after the game where Sean Miller sort of puts his arm around it. They're clearly having he's saying something to him that's unusual in a coach-player interaction. And you know what he says? Because afterwards Sean was asked about it. They said, we saw you talking to Fred VanVleet. What did you say to him? He said, I said, don't ever let anybody tell you can't play in the NBA. They're going to tell you that. They're going to tell you that because you're too small, because you're this, that, whatever. Don't let them tell you that. I've been doing this for a while. You can do that. You're good enough. You're made of the right stuff. And now he's here. We're not going to celebrate him tonight. We're celebrating the other guys in the home jerseys. But it is a neat story. And if you can take, the whatever rivalry exists between Houston and Memphis, if you can put aside the fact that we are chasing them in standings, it is kind of a neat story. They were in a position where reportedly if they wanted to take James Harden back and do all that nonsense again, they could have. He wanted to go back there. They said, no, we're going in another direction. We're doing this a different way. They went out and hired a coach who, yes, has some baggage, but is undeniably good at his job. I don't know if he's good at everything else. He's good at his job. Great at his job. They've gotten veteran pieces to come in and impact that locker room. They've drafted well, and now they come in here with the second-best record in the West. Grizzlies Rockets tonight, TNT, 8:30 tip. 8:30. Adjust your schedules. 8:30 tip. 8:30 tip. It's going to be a fun night in downtown Memphis. Ja Morant is questionable. Grizz are listed 5.5-point favorites still. So if the game goes as planned and the Grizzlies are the winners, should be 32-16 after tonight. Half game back of Houston in the Western Conference standings. We can't catch them tonight, Bennett, like I thought we might, but we can catch them eventually. And the key to doing that, or at least one of the ways to do it, is by getting them tonight. 8:30 tip, inside FedEx Forum. Mike Wallace going to help me talk about it. We'll do that right after this break.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
A night of comedy with Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
Now, is this a family? Is this your mother? Where is she? Is she in the crowd? You don't know where your mom is. The mom's up there. What kind of family is this? I'm sorry.
Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
I went ziplining for the last time. What is wrong with us? Would you pay $200 to feel like you're about to die 6 times?
Live in Memphis, FedEx Forum, Friday, February 21st. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. I'm in New York City. Ben Doyle back inside the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum. On Thursdays, I'm joined by senior editor, Grind City Media. It's the great Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace, it's GP. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Thanks a lot for having me on again. Always enjoy meeting up with you, man. Love doing this.
You're the best. You kidding me? You're doing me a favor. It's not the other way around. First, let's start with the, headline from the morning. At Grizzlies PR, up to its old tricks again. They got Ja Morant listed as questionable. We've got shoulder soreness. How concerned should I be about this?
I mean, it's something that crept up. He wasn't on the injury report as of last night. Maybe it was something that happened over practice. This is a team that's about to momentarily go through shoot around, so I'm sure there'll be another update as we get closer. But this is the surgically repaired shoulder that Ja Morant, had that procedure on this exact month a year ago. So it's been some things that he's been dealing with. He's been going through it on and off based on, the kind of physicality that he's subjected to, But I mean, again, this wasn't something that, anybody saw coming before our old friends at Grizz PR dropped the PR bomb on us like that.
There's a lot of us who watch every game. There's a lot of us who care about this team. Very few of us are around this team as much as you are. Obviously, for Ja, it's been an interesting season. He's had huge highlights. He's had all-star level moments, but he's been in and out of the lineup because of various injuries, some more serious than others. And, the new offense isn't necessarily been the thing that has, exaggerated all of his talents. Do you have a sense for how he's handled what is a successful season from a team perspective, but I assume on some level frustrating for him?
Ja has been a really, really tough read this year. And, I say that in all sincerity. I say that with all compassion and all understanding because, you're right. I've had the luxury of being around him a lot more than, a lot of other, people have, you know what I mean, with my role on this team and with this team and with this organization. But, he came into the training camp and, the quote was, a happy Ja is a scary Ja. We saw him at media day smiling and laughing and just being in a good mental space and all of those things. And as this season has progressed, it seems like, some of that joy, some of that outwardly intentional joy has kind of waned a little bit. And this has become a job. It's become, a chore in a way. Like he is still one of the 5 to 10 most gifted basketball players on the planet. Is the offense going exactly the way that is comfortable for him? Not every night. Absolutely not. Is his body responding the way he needed it to respond night in and night out? Absolutely not. You could tell by, the absences that he's had. But the thing is, it's just hard to get a lot out of Ja because we ask him after every game, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Or we saw you take a fall. What's going on? Nothing. I'm good. He's very, very limited in what he's willing to share. So that leads people to try to wonder what's going on. But having said all that, this team is positioned in a great spot. The season is still in front of them. All their goals are still right there. And I think Ja will emerge, once he feels right, back to the Ja that we want to see and we expect to see.
A lot of people noticed he has deleted at least one aspect of his social media. People ask me about that. Yeah. I say I don't know what it means. I think I've reached the point where it's very difficult for me to understand what social media actions from somebody in their 20s means and doesn't mean. But it's something that he clearly, deliberately did, and he's smart enough to know people will notice. So when people ask you about it the way they ask me about it, how do you respond?
I want to say that he had gotten to a place where he was able to say, hey, I don't need to be on this anymore, right? Like, I'm in a mental space. And he talked, like, this is a guy that we've known publicly has come out and said that, he's dealing with some mental challenges and some psychological things. And he went through that, during the suspension and coming out of that. And he, wasn't on social media as much then. I think he got back to that a little bit more. And, again, if you really sit down and listen to Ja when he is forthcoming with how he's feeling, you always hear him say things like, hey, this is what y'all want. This is what, I did this in this game because I saw what y'all are saying. Or, you would ask him a question and he'll respond by saying, what did y'all say about it? Or I saw what y'all put out there about it. And it's almost like, all right, man, like, you don't have to be an audience for all of this stuff. It should be as simple as, hey, put down the phone, turn off the app, move on. Like, at a certain point, you're going to be judged by what you do on the court, not what you do in a court of public opinion from that standpoint. But again, as you said, as you articulated, we're in our 40s. I mean, we're older. Like, we didn't grow up on social media. Like, we remember a time where Twitter didn't exist and we weren't checking every other minute, what somebody is saying and followers and all of that kind of stuff. This generation is completely different, man. And hopefully he can find some peace. And he can find some psychological peace as well as some physical peace, so he can get back to the business of what he's here to do.
It's sort of required by my job. I guess not necessarily. I guess if I just deleted Twitter, my bosses wouldn't demand that I put it back on my phone, or else my contracts would be terminated. But I do feel like it's a part of my job. I do feel like I have to be there. But I tell you, I don't know that it's good for me. And I'm not Ja Morant. Like, I see things I know I shouldn't see. I hear things I know I shouldn't hear. Yeah. I get told I'm terrible at my job every day. And that's not something that my father, my mother, my grandparents, your grandparents grew up with. Like, people are mostly civil to each other, and please forgive me, because I know that we could take it back to the 50s and not so much. But you get my point, broadly speaking. People are mostly civil with each other, at least in normal places in the year 2025. And yet we open ourselves up to this thing in our phone and in our computers that allows people to not be civil with us, to tell us horrible things about ourselves. And I know that it's not good to hear. I know what I see is not good to see. And I'm not Ja Morant. Mm-hmm. I'm not a franchise point guard. I'm not worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And, I don't care what people do with their social media, particularly adults. But if you are strong enough to ever break away from it, I bet you what you'll find out is that it's not bad for you. And so I don't know that he needs to stay off forever or at all. Yeah. But I bet you it's more peaceful for him not to look at this every day.
Yeah, and you know what? He's at a point, though, that what drove him to the decision, right? Like, what drives you to make the decision is also something you have to rectify as well, too, because you're like, hey, I'm not going to let anybody, keep me from being who I am. And if who I am is someone who loves to be on social media and monitor stuff and post stuff. See, we also got to understand, like, there's an interesting dichotomy going on with Ja when it comes to social media. The NBA just talked about how he's the second most trafficked person on social media in the league, when it comes to, how viral his videos go and all of these things. So that's where he gets a level of, hey, this is what I represent. And then to turn away from that, like, you got to take the good and the bad with it. And sometimes it's tough. You're in New York City right now. Let me paint this picture. If you're walking down the street in New York City in Manhattan right now, and a group of people start yelling at you and talking about how much you suck and how much, you need to leave CBS and you're just not good at your job, are you going to walk towards that crowd, or are you going to hustle up and get away from that crowd? If it's real life, you're going to navigate away from that kind of crowd and try to find a different street to walk down on. On social media, we tend to gravitate to the chaos as opposed to gravitating away from the chaos. And that's just tough, man. I mean, there's some kind of sociology and psychology report that can be done on that. But at the end of the day, man, again, I say this, and I said this from the very beginning. It struck me one recent road trip, and it reminded me, and I always have to come to Ja with compassion and understanding as much as I can. A bunch of us, even some of the Grizzlies' other players and bench players and staffers, We went into like a punch bowl social or something, got a table, you know, had some drinks and watched a game, and we were just cool. We were being ourselves. As we were walking out at the front of the restaurant, I noticed our security team was there, and then you look a little bit deeper, and it's Ja sitting at a table almost by himself with security at the outer tables around him, and he's by himself trying to enjoy a night. That's how he has to live. He can't just go join the crowd. He has to go with security everywhere he goes. He's isolated in a lot of ways, even when he's around people. And that's a tough way to just go grab a hamburger, man. You know what I'm saying? And you just want to go watch the game. It's tough being that. And granted, he's a great player. Anybody would love to trade places with all the fame and the fortune that he has, but it's not easy being him when you're that age, having to live your life that way.
That's exactly right, and that's the best way to put it. Like, you know, it's possible, or at least it should be possible, to admire somebody's life and position in this world, but also empathize with them and realize this can't be easy. Yeah, I would trade spots with Ja Morant. I think most people would. You know, the paychecks are amazing, the talent amazing, the fanfare incredible. Living the life he's living is not easy. The scene you just described is sad. That's not the way humans are supposed to live. I think opening your phone every day and having people, you know, say awful things about you, it's not the way you're supposed to live. And the dichotomy that Ja deals with, that you explained and laid out perfectly, that's a real confusing thing, because he can open his phone at any moment of any day and watch highlights of himself and people being blown away by the things he can do on a basketball court. But he can't possibly enjoy that for too long without bumping into something that will not make him feel not so great, that will make him, you know, not smile as big. And I can't speak for Ja, because I've literally never talked to him about this. I can only speak for myself. And I'm at a point, I don't ever want to make this more than it is. I'm fine. I really am at a point where I don't even pay attention to it that much anymore. But you do notice it. You see everything. I do see everything. And I'm fine, and I'd be curious to hear what you think. But the negative stuff is the stuff that sticks with me more than the positive stuff. Like, I appreciate the positive stuff, but the negative stuff is the stuff that I carry around for maybe a half second longer than the positive stuff. And I hope Ja Morant is not that way. I hope nobody else in this entire world is that way, because it's not a good way to be. But, you know, I could see how he might be that way, where the negative stuff gets to him a little bit more than the positive stuff does.
Yeah, it's the human condition, man. And, you know, we tend to gravitate to that. Like, you know, when we get done with this segment, you know, our social media team is going to clip it up, and they're going to take one of the topics that we talked about, and they're going to share it on social media. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to retweet it. And then somebody's inevitably going to say, hey, great job on this, or good point. And then I'm going to get one person that'll say, you know, something negative, right? And that's the one that's going to rile me, right? A little bit. I'm going to be like, I'm going to go back and dissect. Did I say it this way or that? But that's just something that, you know, that's human nature when it comes to that. Now, again, like I said, that's social media. If I walk out in my neighborhood right now and one person out of 10 would tell me something negative, I'm not going to give that person the time of day, right? I'm going to go to, you know, do what I need to do. So it's tough, man. Social media isn't a real thing. It is a real thing, but it isn't reality. You know what I mean? And that's just, it's hard to navigate from that standpoint. But having said all that, go back to Ja. I remember my first interview with Ja when he was at the draft lottery. And you know, when Zion was going to be the number 1 pick, we found out New Orleans had the number 1 pick, Grizzlies had the number 2 pick, and Ja did a media scrum real quick. And he talked about, man, like, you know, I just want to go play ball. Memphis is a place that's going to love me because of who I am. It reminds me a lot of where I grew up in South Carolina. It reminds me a lot of Murray State. You know, I can go to the grocery store, I can do things and just be me. And that's the kind of place I want to be. And he always wanted to be like that. Like, LeBron James and Ja Morant grew up and embraced celebrity in 2 different phases of their life. LeBron was a star at 14, 15, 16. Ja was basically an unknown all the way up until his freshman year at Murray State. So a lot came to him fast. LeBron always knew how to be a celebrity. So you got to kind of look at different guys handle it differently. And it's just part of that. But bottom line, we got to get this dude healthy, because the Grizzlies can't be the team that they're capable of being unless Ja is healthy and can sustain health and get out on the court and feel like himself. And until we see that on a consistent basis, there's going to be some questions. And I think the Grizzlies are capable of answering these questions, but they just got to get to the point where they can sustain success and health and continuity with their main guys.
Rockets Grizzlies 8:30 tip tonight, later than normal, 90 minutes later than normal, inside FedEx Forum. Tickets available, Grizzlies.com. Grizz listed as a 5.5-point favorite right now, even though Ja Morant has been added to the status report, questionable tonight with a shoulder issue. Mike, before I let you go, the Rockets, I know that we don't like them. I know that we're chasing them. I know that we want to beat them tonight. But I'm not the type of fan who can't, like, look at somebody else, even somebody else I'm trying to catch, and go, that's a pretty neat story, what they've done there. This was a bad franchise. They hired, obviously, a great coach with some baggage, sure, but a great coach if you could put the other stuff over here. They've drafted well. They've identified free agents with, I think, a certain mindset. Sure, basketball stuff to bring to the table, but a mindset as well that you know, possesses some things that you'd like to have if the goal is to compete in the Western Conference. And now they are sitting here at 32-14, second best record in the West, third best record in the NBA. It's kind of a neat story that they've rebuilt this thing into what looks like a legitimate contender.
Yeah, they were a laughing stock. They were a joke. A lot of people talked about how they had a roster full of knuckleheads, immature players who was just, you know, it was basically an AAU team on steroids that didn't have any discipline 2.5 years ago. And Udoka came in and immediately turned that thing around. They had a different front office run things after Morey went over, you know, obviously to Philadelphia. They turned it around, and they basically built this roster in the image of Udoka's mindset, that toughness, that I'm going to defend, I'm going to get in you, I'm going to hold you accountable. And when you see him on the sideline coaching his team, it's almost like a big brother, uncle, father figure talking to his kids and like, hey, look, I expect better of you than this. It's not even coaching. It's more like, come on, man, get your mind right. And these guys have grown up fast. As you said, they put some veterans around. Jeff Green, Steven Adams, you know, Van Vliet are remarkable veterans to put around some of the young guys, Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, Torrey Eason, and those guys. And then you have some middle of the line guys that are absolutely performing. Şengün, Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson is going to be probably the most improved player in the league in his year 2. He's been phenomenal, man. You can admire what they've done. They did it quickly. As much as Oklahoma City got credit for their quick turnaround, Houston, you know, doubled down on the same philosophy, just in a different way, and did it too. So this isn't going to be an easy team to catch. It's one you definitely have to figure out. You're 1 or 2 possessions away from figuring it out, and hopefully the Grizzlies can get over that hump tonight.
Huge game tonight inside FedEx Forum, 8:30 tip. Rockets are in town. You can watch it on TNT. Even better, you can get tickets, Grizzlies.com. Mike Wallace, you're the best, buddy. I appreciate you being here. I know my car's still parked perfectly because it ain't moved. I don't know when it's moving. I really don't know when it's going to move again. But I hope every time you see it, you notice my tires are as straight as I could make them. I appreciate you being here, buddy.
Hey, I'm just happy to see that you still got tires on there. I don't want to see platforms and all that on there, right? In your tag strip, right? I got to make sure security keeps an eye on your car while it's there, brother.
Thank God I'm in that garage, buddy, because I don't know how long it would last elsewhere. But we're in the garage. We're good. I'll see you soon, but I appreciate you. That's Mike Wallace on Twitter @MyMikeCheck. When we come back, Penny Hardaway's Tigers back on the court tonight. They're down in New Orleans. Tulane's the opponent. We'll get you ready for that. It's the Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
Is Hulkamania officially dead?
Yes.
When you have over 17,000 people live, and you have Netflix premiere the biggest day in WWE history, and meanwhile they boo him out of the building?
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you!
That is your core audience, and they don't want it.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the Forum rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane 3, yes sir! Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger buzzer beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
It's your turn to drive into luxury at Southland Casino Hotel. Join us on Saturdays to win your share of up to $1 million in free play and prizes. And don't miss the chance to take home luxury itself during the grand finale drawings. Drive off in a 2025 Land Rover on February 1st or a 2025 Range Rover on March 1st. 2 vehicles, 2 finales, 1 million ways to enjoy luxury only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
North South understands this better than anyone. Since your inquiries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more, orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Bennett, Penny Hardaway's Tigers, back on the court tonight down in New Orleans. It's at later than normal tip time as well, 8 o'clock. It's on ESPN2. Both Memphis basketball teams on national television tonight. It's a fun night to watch basketball, isn't it, Bennett?
Sorry, yeah. I was just
look how excited you are.
Well, this game it gives me anxiety.
You have anxiety about a game against the Greenway. Why?
Well, for some reason they've lost 3 in a row there, which is baffling to say the least. Respect to Ron Hunter, and obviously he had the great NCAA tournament moment. He has not done amazing at Tulane, but he's got Memphis's number for some reason. I don't know what it is, but man, he's got our number.
Bennett, we're going into a Thursday night. Tigers are at Tulane. The Grizz are hosting the Rockets, and best I can tell, if you could have a 3-person marriage with Dylan Brooks and Ron Hunter, that's what you would prefer to do tonight.
Ron Hunter, he knows how to coach against the Tigers for some reason. I don't know what it is. I was looking. The last time they won, I believe, was the year the Tigers they went to the NIT under Penny when they had Lester and I guess DeAndre was part of that team too. 2021 was the last time they won there.
Why are you bringing up all this negative stuff?
What are you talking about? I mean, they've lost 3 in a row at Tulane. I mean, I gotta call it like it is.
What? There's a million different things you could reference today. It's a danger game. There's a million different things you could talk about today as the Tigers get ready to go to Tulane. The 19th ranked Tigers get ready today to go to Tulane. There's a million things you could point out. You know what you could say, Bennett, when I bring up the Tigers? You could say, yeah, they're 16-4, GP, 6-1 in American. They're a million spots better than everybody else in the AAC and all of the computers. This is a Penny Hardaway team headed to the NCAA tournament, probably going to advance to the Sweet 16 for the first time since John Calipari took them there. And instead, you want to talk about Ron Hunter's record.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully they can change that tonight.
Hopefully, God, or else I don't even want to be here. If they don't, I'm calling in tomorrow.
In case you can't tell, I'm sick of losing at Tulane. I mean, give me a friggin' break. Can we please get over this stupid hump?
I know what I'm not going to do tomorrow. I ain't showing up tomorrow to listen to this nonsense from you talking about Ron Hunter. Ron Hunter wins tonight. You could talk to Rob Fisher tomorrow.
I mean, dude, as someone who watches, every season of Memphis basketball, best I can tell, Ron Hunter's one of the best coaches in the country.
I'm going to have you sitting in studio with Rob Fisher tomorrow. Text Rob Fisher and see what he's doing tomorrow morning. I'm not going to do this
asleep. He'll probably be asleep by the time we get started. We ain't getting out of here. We ain't getting out of here till late tonight.
I'm not doing this again tomorrow. Sit here, listen to you talk about Ron Hunter's winning streak against Penny Hardaway. You can talk to Rob Fisher about that tomorrow. I'll sleep in.
Fine.
I'll sleep in tomorrow. Hey, Bennett, they're 6.5-point favorites tonight. This is.
I don't like that either. I don't like that either. By the way, I was hoping it'd be like 12.5. 6.5 is scary.
I know, but it's Ron Hunter. What are you supposed to do?
I guess somebody else is taking that into account as well. Okay, that's fine.
It sounds like the betting markets are also
they're
in love
onto
with
it.
Ron Hunter.
They're onto
it as well. This is the problem with the AAC. This is the problem with the AAC. This is what I hate about this stupid league. You're scared. Other Tiger fans I know have anxiety.
Yes.
Ron Hunter is Ron Hunter. This is a quad 3 game.
They're giving away batons and hot dogs tonight.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Ole Miss fans are, last night, they're like, man, we really need this one. But if you lose it, it's just a loss to Texas. It ain't going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama fans last night are like, man, I hope we win this game. But if you lose it, it's just a road game to Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that big of a deal. Mississippi State fans last night, man, we really could use this one. But if you lose it, it's just a loss at home to Alabama, ranked in the top 5 in the country. That ain't going to hurt you. Everything Memphis does just hurts you.
Yeah.
Every single thing you got to do, it just hurts you. It doesn't help you. It's like you get to take – it's like, Bennett, I'm giving you 2 tests a week. Hey, Bennett, I'm going to give you 2 tests a week. Oh, cool. What do I get if I pass them? Nothing. What do I get if I fail them? The NIT. So nothing good can happen. I get to keep taking these tests, and if I do well, you don't care. But if I don't do well, then that's the worst thing in the world. That's right. That's exactly what you're up against. That's Memphis. Tonight, you're nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I gather other Memphis fans are nervous. You're a 6.5-point favorite. And if you win it, nobody will care. If you win it, nobody will say you got to put Memphis higher in the rankings. If you win it, nobody will say, man, that's great. But if you lose it, it's a quad 3 loss that you'll carry around with the Arkansas State loss until Selection Sunday. That's the biggest problem with this league. Exactly what we're talking about tonight. You're nervous because of Ron Hunter, and yet this is a game where if you win it, it doesn't matter, and if you lose it, it matters a lot. You can't gain anything tonight, but you can lose a lot. I hate playing in a league where you're always at risk and never in a position or rarely in a position to get a reward.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at their schedule. I mean, they have been playing better since they started league play. But I mean, I don't take that. I don't take much from that. I mean, we were sitting here before the UAB game saying UAB's been playing better in the league, and they blasted them. So I don't think that really matters. I would be bummed if this wasn't an easy win for them.
What would you prefer? If I could give you either option and you could just close your eyes, snap your fingers, and this would be your reality.
Okay.
Ron Hunter coaching the Houston Rockets or Dylan Brooks playing for Tulane?
I mean, Dylan Brooks playing for Tulane would be kind of fun. New Orleans would be lit. That'd actually be a blast. So I'll go with that. And then we wouldn't have to play against him.
See, now you're thinking with your head, Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're thinking with your head. I'm going to choose not to be nervous tonight.
Can you
right?
I do not know how. I'm not coming. You said you're not coming in tomorrow. I'm not coming in tomorrow if tonight the Rockets blast us, led by like Dylan Brooks having another massive scoring outburst, and we lose at Tulane for like the 500th season in a row. I'm not coming in tomorrow if that happens. Based on everything you said through the first 54 minutes of this show, it sounds like that would be your favorite thing. No, that would actually make me throw up all over myself.
I've never seen somebody more in love with Dylan Brooks than you.
Well, he's a great
player. Other people I've seen on social media in love with Dylan Brooks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they're coming around.
Tigers, Tulane tonight. I choose not to be nervous or anxious about it. I'm going to trust Penny Hardaway. He's been handling these ridiculous teams in the AAC for the most part, consistently. Did they turn it over a little too much sometimes? Sure. You know, did they get a little lackadaisical sometimes? Yeah. But there's been no serious indication so far this season that Memphis is going to consistently lose games it's supposed to win. That was last year. I'm not focused on last year. I've moved on. Bennett, I've moved on. I wish you would move on with me. Can you move on with me?
If we win tonight.
Okay, Bennett says he can move on if the Tigers win tonight. It's Memphis at Tulane. Quad 3 opportunity. We'll see how it goes.
Number 2.
I mentioned Ole Miss. They won last night. Interesting game down in Oxford. First off, because Ole Miss had lost 3 in a row. Like, I wrote this story about Jamin Brakefield that got a lot of attention, and I appreciate everybody who said kind words about it. That's been nice to hear. But my God, I wish they win a game. You know, I wish I could have lined it up with a winning streak. So they had lost 3 in a row, still ranked, but you know, you don't like to go on 3-game losing streaks, even if you are playing in the toughest league in the country, which could also go down as the toughest league in the history of the entire world. It really could be. Like I said this on TV last night, and Roy Hibbert looked at me like I was crazy. It really is true. This season of SEC basketball is probably going to go down as the greatest season of college basketball for any conference in the history of the sport. They're probably going to get more teams in the NCAA tournament than any conference has ever. And they're probably going to have the number 1 overall seed. They're probably going to have multiple number 1 seeds. If we are looking up in late March, early April, and the Final Four is, you know, Duke plus 3 SEC teams, that's not crazy. You know, I think from my childhood, the most famous Final Four for me is 1985 because it involved Memphis State. But that was Memphis State and 3 Big East schools, St. John's, Villanova, Georgetown. We are possibly headed for something like that again with the SEC. If you told me the SEC was getting 2 number 1 seeds, I'd be like, sure. 2 Final Four teams? Yeah, I could see it. 3 Final Four teams? Yeah. 4 Final Four teams? We've never done that. 4 from the same league? Hard to do, obviously, for a variety of reasons, but they have 4 teams that are good enough to get there. They have more than 4 teams that are good enough to get there. And on some level, Ole Miss is one of them. But Ole Miss had been struggling, lost 3 straight in this league. Last night, inside the pavilion down in Oxford, they get past Texas. Emotional game. Chris Beard coaching against his alma mater for the first time since he was removed as coach of his alma mater after an off-the-court incident that you can Google and read all about. Chris Beard also coaching against his friend, a guy who he hired to work for him at Texas. That's the scene last night in Oxford. Chris Beard in a powder blue Ole Miss pullover of some sort, coaching against his alma mater and coaching against a man who he hired to be his assistant coach. Rodney Terry was a head coach. Chris Beard said, come work for me. I'll pay you. Make it right. You be my assistant instead of a head coach somewhere else. That guy's working for you, and now he has your dream job while you're in Oxford, Mississippi. And obviously, having an SEC job is awesome. Living in Oxford is awesome. Getting paid millions of dollars to coach basketball is awesome. But this is not Chris Beard's plan. This is not what he was expected to do. He was supposed to be coaching his alma mater. He's supposed to be coaching the University of Texas. I bet there was a lot of emotions involved. I know there were a lot of emotions involved last night in that. But Ole Miss wins, snaps that losing streak, and I moved them up a spot in the top 25 and 1. It's a quality basketball team, and that was a good night for Memphis as well because, you know, obviously the Tigers own a victory over Ole Miss, so every good thing that happens for Ole Miss is a good thing by extension for Memphis. So congrats to the Rebels, and we'll see where they go from here. But that's the thing you have to remember if you're an SEC fan. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, for the most part, any of the good teams. Outside of Auburn, you're going to lose in this league. It doesn't look like Auburn's going to lose in this league. They won again last night at LSU. Janai Broome, another big game to tighten up that National Player of the Year race with Cooper Flagg. Outside of Auburn, you're going to lose in the SEC. The question is, how quickly can you bounce back? How fast can you get over things? Ole Miss back to its winning ways. Losing streak over. Victory over Texas in the back pocket.
Number 3.
NFL.com has published footage of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift on the field after the AFC Championship victory over Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. It's got pictures. It's got audio. Let's watch it together and look at what love looks like.
Hey, you better back up things, baby. Let's go, dog.
That's awesome. I love the way you blocked for Patrick in the end zone. That was amazing.
I'm trying to win a third one. I'm doing anything I possibly can. I'll run through a wall.
Oh, that's awesome. This is so intense. Look at this. Look at this. This is not a real life situation.
It wasn't like this in Baltimore last year.
No, it was not. No, we were all by ourselves. This is so crazy. I cannot believe this is really happening. I'm in shock.
New Orleans, Louisiana, baby.
This is so cool.
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh.
Look at Taylor Swift. How supportive is she? Look at that. This woman is responsible for the most amazing moments of anybody's life, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's created the most amazing moments for millions of people's lives. She creates moments that are frankly more unbelievable than an AFC Championship game. She could fill up that stadium quicker than any NFL team can, all right? She should never be amazed by anything. There is nothing she saw last Sunday that she hasn't seen before. Oh, a stadium full of people going crazy. Oh, wow, look at this. She sees that every night. She sees that every night she walks into a stadium for her. She don't need teammates. It's just her. She shouldn't be amazed by anything, but she wants to be amazed. Isn't that a supportive girlfriend? Look at Taylor Swift. Don't you love that?
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
What do you mean?
Come on.
What do you come on?
Come on.
Come on.
Like, dude, this is like what, the third time they've done that? Like, I don't know.
Oh, so
I love
what?
Taylor. I don't know. I question the authenticity of it all. I was just, in that moment, I was like, are you really this shocked and shock and awe by this? Stop it. I don't know.
People say that about Taylor Swift all the time. They're like, oh, she couldn't be that in awe of whatever she's seeing. She couldn't be that surprised by whatever she's seeing. She couldn't be that amazed by whatever. What if she's just going out and having a great time every night and being like, you know what? I have actually seen something like this before, but that doesn't make this any less amazing. I'm going to be amazed daily. I know you're only supposed to be amazed every once in a while, but what if I have created this life for myself where amazing things are happening every day? Either amazing things that I create or amazing things that my boyfriend creates. And I'm not going to stop being amazed just because this happens all the time. I'm going to be amazed every time something amazing happens. My boyfriend's got a chance to be the first ever three-time, three-peat Super Bowl champion in a row. And I'm Taylor Swift. I'm doing amazing stuff. He's doing amazing stuff. But I'm not going to sit here and be bored by it. I'm going to be amazed every time. What's wrong with that, Bennett? I think that's probably a better way to live.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if that's how she indeed thinks, then that's awesome, and I respect the hell out of her. I'm more of a cynic, so I don't know.
When you look at the stars, they're still stars, Bennett. Don't get bored by them.
I don't. I do appreciate them. So yeah,
you're bored with stars.
It was a nice moment. It was a really nice moment.
You don't seem like you're happy for other people.
I mean, it was a good moment. It was a good moment. Congrats to them.
You know what another person could do? You know what another person could do if they wanted to? There's two approaches to this if you're Taylor Swift. You could be that version of Taylor Swift. The Taylor Swift that looks up into her boyfriend's eyes and says, I can't believe this. This is incredible. Look at this. This is amazing. I'm so happy for you. I love you so much. You did this. Look at this. This is incredible. You could do that. Or you could be like, yeah, this is cute. How many y'all, how many did it take to sell this out? You needed Patrick and that dude who makes his wife just cook and clean all day, kicks footballs. You needed all these people to fill this up, plus a whole nother team of people from another state to do. I do this by myself. I could just tweet right now. Hey guys, I'll be at the stadium in 20 minutes, and it would fill up immediately. So this is cute. But am I amazed? Not really. I do this whenever I want to do this. Anywhere in the world I want to do it. That's another approach. Don't you prefer this one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't sound like it, Ben. It doesn't sound like you're happy for it. Why are you not happy for people?
I'm not. I wanted the Bills to win, so I'm not happy for them.
I get that. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I'm not.
You identified yourself as a cynic, and I'll co-sign that. You are. people have been cynical about them from the jump. They're still here, Bennett. They're still here, and they're still loving each other.
Yeah,
and
they
still
are
supporting each other, and they're still happy for each other. And you're just sitting there being a cynic about it.
When Donna was like, I really liked how you blocked for Patrick there in the end zone, and Taylor's like, that was amazing. I'm like, okay, like give me a break.
That was an amazing
yeah,
block.
dude, one of the most memorable moments of the game. Come on.
That was one of the most memorable moments of our lives. That was an incredible block.
Yeah.
Did your mom not appreciate stuff you did? Is that what we're dealing with?
She did.
Is that what's happening? Your mom doesn't appreciate you.
No, I thought Donna seemed authentic there. Taylor, whatever. I'm a big fan. Don't get it twisted. I'm still a big fan. I wanted the Bills to win that game, dude.
I choose to be happy for them. You can not be if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be something you have to deal with.
Yeah,
Sounds like you're in a battle. Sounds like you're in a battle with yourself.
I'm in a battle with my mental health right now. I need wins tonight. I need positive vibes coming into this weekend, dude.
You seem like you're in a battle with yourself right now.
I'm not trying to sit on like post-game radio at midnight tonight talking about what's wrong with the Grizzlies. Like, please don't let that happen to me. I know it's like already in my head. I'm like preparing everything I'm going to say tonight because I'm just ready for like all the phone calls being like, we suck. I hate that. And I got to do it at midnight tonight.
All right. I know what's happening tonight. I'm going to have fun. Once I get done with this show, I ain't got nothing else to do the rest of the day.
All right.
I'm so excited for today.
I know.
I mean, the first thing I'm going to do is go back to sleep. But when I wake up, I'm going to be really excited about the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. And when I wake up, I'm going to be well rested, I hope. And that means I'm going to stay up late tonight. And you know what I'm doing? I'm calling into the radio show if the Grizzlies lose just to talk to you about it.
Okay. All right. Give us a shout. Yeah. Come on.
I'm calling you tonight if the Grizzlies lose.
I promise whatever you think you're going to say, it won't be even close to the least or to the most toxic call that we get tonight. Trust me. If they lose, I swear to God, we're going to get a call that's like, we need to trade Ja, we need to trade Desmond Bain, we need to trade Jaren Jackson. That's going to happen, even though they just went like 6-1 over their last 7 games.
I'm going to call in tonight, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I'm going to ask you why. I'm going to ask you about the training staff first. Okay.
Oh yeah. Let's check them off. That's one of them. That'll be the first one. That'll be the first one.
I'm going to ask you why the starters don't play more minutes.
Yep. That'll be there. Yep. We get a couple of those.
I'm going to ask you why the Grizzlies don't just go get Jimmy Butler for John Conchar.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Check
just
it off the
John
list.
Conchar and bring in Jimmy Butler. And honestly, like at this point, why not trade for Kevin Durant? I'm gonna ask you about Kevin Durant. See if we can't get that deal done.
Yeah, someone will be mad at Marcus Smart, even though he's not playing tonight. That'll be there. There'll be one of those calls too. That's on the way as well. Don't forget that.
I'm gonna call in and ask you about Marcus Smart.
Yep.
Where is this thing going?
Yeah.
Right?
God, we need to win tonight. I need it.
Do people still care about Dalton Connect? Should I ask you why the Grizzlies didn't draft Dalton Connect?
Is he shooting well? Because that'll be a problem. That'll be an issue. Please don't let him hit a 3-pointer tonight in whatever their game is.
Don't let him go 1 of 6 from 3.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now I'm even more excited than I thought I was going to be. I can't wait. I want the Grizzlies to win, obviously, and the Grizzlies should win. The Grizzlies are favored, even with Ja on the status report as questionable. But, sometimes gamblers will tell you, I bet against my own team so that, if they win, I'm happy. And then if they lose, at least I made money and I'm happy. That never made sense to me, but that is something people say they do. I feel like that's where I'm at right now. If the Grizz win tonight, I'm going to be real happy because it's a win and you're just a half game back of Houston. But if they lose tonight, buddy, I got a lot of questions for you on the post-game show.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to be trying to get me off. You're going to be like, all right, we got to get to Brett. Hold up. I got one more question. I've got one more question. And the last question I've got for you. When is Vince Williams going to play?
Yep, that'll be one of them. No, my favorite too is like I try to, because like Roser will let him go. Roser will let him talk for a little bit. You can hear me being like, "All right, okay," like cut it off.
Y'all are gonna have to hang up on me because I'm gonna have a list of questions. I'm gonna spend the rest of my day after I sleep making a list of questions that are outrageous to ask on a post-game radio show, and I'm going to ask every one of them. Yep. We're going to have to get a break and come back, and I'll just stick with you through the break.
Okay.
You're going to have to ask
Hang on through the break. Yep.
You're going to have
stay
to
on the line.
You're going to have to ask me if I'll stay on the line and hang on through the break. I got lots of questions. The Grizz better win tonight, because if not, I got lots of questions for the post-game radio show. Y'all done messed around and gave me a Thursday night off. It's over. Y'all done gave me a Thursday night off with no family, all right? If I was at home, I'd be doing family stuff, but I ain't got nobody here to care about. I'm just going to be sitting here by myself. I'm on the radio show tonight. Grizz win, I'm celebrating by myself. Grizz lose, I'm talking to Roser and Bennett all night long.
Number 4.
Caitlin Clark has turned down an opportunity to be at NBA All-Star Weekend at the Chase Center in San Francisco. She said she wants her first All-Star Weekend three-point shooting experience to be in Indianapolis at the WNBA All-Star Game. That's coming up. So she's skipping the NBA All-Star Game. She's going to make an impact at the WNBA All-Star Weekend, not NBA All-Star Weekend. Do you approve or disapprove, Bennett?
Yeah, I do. I actually do approve. Grow the game. Yeah, because then you'll have the moment of like it's Caitlin Clark's first big, All-Star moment. Well, she was in the All-Star Game, wasn't she?
Yeah, but this is just smart. It's smart business for her and for the entire league. Why do you want to take your star power to somebody else's party when you're trying to grow your own party? Did you notice Brittany Griner signed with Atlanta the other night? She's agreed. I guess you can't sign the contract yet. Can't sign the contract till February 1st, maybe. But she has agreed in principle to join the Atlanta Dream. She's leaving Phoenix.
Yep. A lot of moves in the WNBA this week. Yep.
Right. On the night that it happened, I was in studio with Atlanta Dream owner Renee Montgomery. And by the way, I was just thinking about this the other night. I'm not pocket watching, but Renee's a part owner of the Atlanta Dream. And do you know what those franchises are about to be worth? I mean, imagine what they were worth. You don't have to imagine. You can look. What that franchise was worth when she bought into it and what it's about to be worth because of the growth of the WNBA.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I always laugh at when people try to downplay how big last season was for that league. I mean, we got the news this morning that Nashville's trying to get an expansion team. They've just put in a bid for a team to start playing at Bridgestone in I think 2028. So clearly the league is growing big time.
Huge.
Yeah.
Growing huge. That franchise is going to be – this is the point I was trying to make. Brittany Griner signed with Atlanta. It's a big deal. She's leaving Phoenix. She's like a 10, 11-time All-Star, one of the most famous players in the league for a variety of reasons. And she signed a one-year deal. And on the surface, I was like, one-year deal? Is that what they do in the WNBA? No, not normally. But you know why they're doing it now? Because this salary cap's about to spike because of the revenue that's been created now. And so most of the players you're seeing are signing short-term deals because they don't want to be locked up long-term because this money is about to go through the roof.
Yep.
All right? So if you're Caitlin Clark, you're the face of this thing. You're the biggest part of this thing. Why do you want to you can take a crowd anywhere with you. Caitlin Clark can take a crowd anywhere. Why do you want to take a crowd to the NBA All-Star Weekend when you can instead take that same crowd to WNBA All-Star Weekend? Why do you want to help them build their thing? The NBA right now is scrambling to try to figure out how to get something interesting in All-Star Weekend. Why you want to help them? Why not help your sport? I don't know whether this was her own decision or if she got there with a team of people, including WNBA officials, but she got to the right place regardless. Hey, NBA, I appreciate the invitation, but I don't play in the NBA. I'm not interested in growing your sport. I'm trying to grow my sport so that I can make more money, and every woman who plays the sport that I play in this league can make more money. I'm going to take my talents to WNBA All-Star Weekend. I'll let you guys do what you're doing on your own. I think it's a smart business decision and just, frankly, probably the right thing to do.
Number 5.
Yuck. Ugh. Man, bad thing about staying up till 5 a.m. every night is just, you're not 19. So you shouldn't be doing that. But the other thing is, man, when there's something breaking news and you turn the TV on, you can get consumed with it pretty quickly. And we had that last night. Horrific, tragic situation in our nation's capital. A commercial airline flight traveling from Wichita, Kansas to Washington, D.C. collided with a government helicopter over the Potomac River. And it became pretty clear pretty quickly this was not going to end well. This was not going to have a happy... It wasn't going to be a good story to tell. But then you wake up this morning and it is what exactly, you can still go to bed hoping for a miracle. You wake up this morning, everybody's assumed dead.
Mm-hmm.
We've all seen the videos. We'll get the explanation eventually. There's a million theories out there. Some of them make sense, other ones not so much. I'm not interested in speculating. I just know that, did you see the interview with the man who was at the hospital?
Yeah, that was rough.
These are the ones that get me, man. I know bad stuff happens all over the world every day, but it's just easier to relate to when it's something that you could see yourself being a part of. And I just, there was a plane crash a few weeks ago, and it was like, oh my God, that's horrific. And I watched all the videos of it, and I was like, yeah, but I would never have been on that plane. That was a plane traveling from this place to that place and that airline, and I wouldn't do that. That's not me. It couldn't possibly be me. Well, I was just thinking last night, what if I was on the sideline for a Wichita State game on Tuesday and then had to catch a flight out of Wichita on Wednesday because I had a VCU game on Saturday, and rather than come home, I just went straight to Richmond. So I'll just book a flight from Wichita to D.C. That, I could have been on that flight. There's, figure skating. There was a figure skating competition in Wichita earlier this week. Those people were traveling back to our nation's capital. They were on that plane last night. The man in the airport was waiting on his wife. He just drove to the airport to pick up his wife to bring her home. And he will never bring her home.
She texted him that they were landing. I mean, God. That's the other yeah, go ahead.
I've sent that text message. My wife sent that text message. Landing, be on the ground in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is you obviously, almost everyone is gonna fly. Many times in their lives, nothing's ever gonna happen, right? But you do it once a week, but there always is that sense of, that little sense of relief when your plane's landing, right? Like, oh, we made it, and that's what these people are thinking. Like, you're descending into the airport, into the runway, and boom.
Well, think about this. This is. I mean, we'll never know. I don't guess, but I promise you, this is a story. This happened last night to somebody on that plane. They were flying into our nation's capital for the first time ever.
Mm.
I don't know if you've ever done that. I know you have done that.
Mm-hmm.
You've done that, right?
Yeah.
Because you go to Baltimore.
Yep.
Well, it's one thing to fly. It's kind of cool flying into any city. You see things you might recognize and you see buildings and whatever. But it's especially cool flying into New York, flying into Las Vegas. Flying to Las Vegas, like you see the Grand Canyon, then you see the Vegas, all the Strip, and it's just like, wow. Flying to New York, like there's the Empire State Building, there's the Statue of Liberty. Wow. You fly into D.C. and it's like, there's the Capitol. There's the Washington Monument. Look, I think that's the White House. You see these things. These things you've seen on TV your whole life, they're like right in front of you for the first time. You open your window, you might put your phone up to the window, take a picture. You elbow the person next to you. Look, there it is. There's the White House. I guarantee you there was some young person on that plane last night, and they were doing exactly that. And then out of nowhere, it's over. You don't even see it coming. Because that's what happened. The helicopter flew right into the plane. It's not vice versa. This man's sitting there at the airport waiting on his wife. They got a camera in his face. He said, I'm just hoping. God. He said, I'm just hoping somebody's down there pulling her out of the river. Can you imagine what it's like to be reduced to hoping somebody's pulling your wife out of a river?
Mm. Yeah, that was rough.
He showed the text messages. And it was a text message from her that said landing in 20 minutes. And then you see, I believe, the screen grab I saw, he had 3 replies that he had sent her. And you know how your phone can show you if it's been delivered or not? None of them were delivered. They didn't make them to her. Her text made it to him. But by the time he was trying to text her back, after he got word that maybe something had gone wrong, his wife is quite literally dead at the bottom of a river, and his text messages are not getting delivered. And we've had a series of scares with commercial airlines in this country in the recent months. I fly a lot, more than most, and I've never been worried about anything, and I'm not now. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm not worried. I'm not now. But anytime I'd ever be in a conversation with somebody and they're like, oh, I don't like flying, I'm scared of flying, I say flying is literally the safest thing you could do in terms of travel. You are safer getting on any plane you can think of, commercial airline, than you are driving home from my house tonight. And that's still true. But it feels less true when you keep watching close calls everywhere. Planes go off of runways. And then this last night, I mean, the commercial airline, according to everything, did nothing wrong. It was just landing. And then they got smashed by a helicopter. Smashed. Ugh. I'm glad you got to bed earlier last night. I stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning watching that on repeat.
Yeah. I got up and saw it all this morning. It's tough.
That'll mess your dreams up.
Yep.
That'll mess your dreams up a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know what there is to say about it other than it's sad.
Yep.
Other than it's tragic. Other than there are people yesterday who were looking forward to going to our nation's capital for the first time, and they're not alive anymore. There were people yesterday looking forward to their loved ones coming home last night after a trip away, and they're not alive anymore. And that's life, I guess.
Yep.
And every day you're standing up, every day your eyes are open is a pretty good day. I know we don't always remember that. I don't. I'm the worst at it. But that'll remind you of it. Every day where it's not actually the worst day of your life is a pretty good day. Because yesterday was the worst day in a lot of people's lives. Be back with GP's Carryout.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
At the National Civil Rights Museum, history moves us forward. The question remains, how does history move you?
Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom now.
Shinedown, Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Presented by Ortho South. I'm in New York City. Bennett Doyle back inside the Built-For Tough studio. FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Big game tonight. Grizzlies and Rockets, 8:30 tip. Tickets available, Grizzlies.com. Let's continue talking about it. Let's do GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly focused on your Memphis Grizzlies in advance of tonight's big game between Western Conference contenders in downtown Memphis inside FedEx Forum. Rockets are in town. They're second place in the Western Conference. The opponent is your Grizzlies, third place in the Western Conference. Both of them chasing Oklahoma City. If we're being honest, ain't neither one of them catching the Thunder. Probably, but they are fighting with each other to try to be the 2 seed in the West. Right now, the Rockets are game and a half above the Grizzlies, so it doesn't matter what happens tonight. The Grizzlies will not be able to pass your Houston Rockets tonight, but you can gain on them. You can gain on them, and you can also do this, Bennett, which has been a source of concern throughout much of this season. Undeniably, the Grizzlies got a great record. Third best record in the West. And the fact that it's come while Marcus Smart's been injured, Vince Williams been injured, Ja Morant hasn't played as often as we'd like, that's all good stuff. But one of the issues has been that they haven't been great against great teams. You get in the playoffs, you don't get to play the Utah Jazz. I mean, I wish you could, but that's not the way it's going to work. Odds are you're trying to get where you want to get, you're going to have to go through teams like Houston, perhaps exactly Houston. So this is a big game for that tonight.
Yep.
As well, like, hey, you just went to New York and you got smacked around by the Knicks, and people said, see, there you go, getting smacked around by good teams. Well, this is a good team tonight. You got them in your home building. You get a chance to get closer to them in the standings, but also add a victory over what everybody understands as a quality team in the Western Conference, a legitimate contender in the Western Conference. I say that because the standings suggest it. Let me ask you, do you think that's true? If you saw Stephen A. Smith say the Houston Rockets are NBA contenders, would you call him stupid, or would you say, yeah, I think that makes sense?
The reason I think it makes sense is because of the way that they play. I mean, they're a good defensive team, which translates into the playoffs, and they've got a really nice. We talked about the veterans on that team, and Dylan Van Vliet, Steven Adams. It's a nice mixture of solid veterans and good young players. And then they've got a great coach who's been to the finals before. So yeah, I do. I think they've got a good chance. I think that them being the 2 seed is real. Yeah.
I think they're a contender too. Like,
yeah.
I always try to flip it around and think of it from my perspective. Like, if the Grizzlies had that record and had that roster and had won those games, and somebody was out there saying, yeah, but I don't believe in them, I'd be like, what do you not believe in? What have you not seen?
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at the Rockets, I'm going to say I believe in it. I'm not going to pick them to go to the finals, but I could see them going to the finals. Like, is it conceivable that team could win any best of 7 series against any team in the Western Conference? Yeah, I think that's conceivable.
Mm-hmm.
I think the coach is accomplished and good. They've got a nice mix of young guys and veterans. They've got some winning DNA in there. There's a certain level of toughness about them. They've got a swagger about them. It's a quality, like, it's not just, Dylan Brooks is back in town with the whatever Houston Rockets. It's like Dylan Brooks is back in town with a legitimate Western Conference contender. Fun night tonight inside FedEx Forum. I wish I could be there. Instead, I'm going to have to watch it on this TV sitting right next to me in this hotel, but I can't wait. That's where I'm going to be. Best city in the world. I could be anywhere, Bennett. I'm just going to be in front of a TV watching the Grizzlies and the Rockets. That's all I want to do tonight.
What's today's biggest game?
Was clearly Grizzlies Rockets, but I think about a year and a half into the Gary Parrish show, I was made to understand maybe we shouldn't be making picks on Grizzlies games.
That's fair.
During GP's carryout. I didn't know. I'm sorry. But I think I think that's on the table. Let's talk Tigers and Tulane. Okay. Let's see where your head's out, Bennett. Let's see where your head. Let's see how much you love Ron Hunter.
Okay.
All right. Memphis, Tulane. Tigers are ranked 19th in the country, 16-4, 6-1 in the American. Tulane just 11-9, 5-2 in the American. We're doing it down at Devlin Fieldhouse. I've been there. It's a nice little place. Memphis, 6.5-point favorite. Totals 151.5. Bennett, how you going to act?
So we talked about it. The Tigers have lost 3 straight at Tulane. It has been a tough place to play for some reason. Hang on.
You love saying that. Love saying that.
Just let me make my pick. So the Tigers, the Tigers have lost 3 in a row at Tulane. It's been a tough place to play for them. It really has. Ron Hunter has, at least in that building, had Penny Hardaway's number. They are giving away free hot dogs tonight and free glow in the dark. But what are those things called? The things that you smash together, the light up things that you smash together at games to make noise makers.
Joints.
No. They're like the inflatable noise. You smash them together. They're giving those away too. So a lot going on tonight in New Orleans. It's New Orleans. It's they've got time. It's an 8:00 tip off, so they got time to get loose. That crowd's going to be raucous. Lot going against the Tigers tonight. Also mentioned earlier, Tulane playing better since they started conference play. So a lot of factors playing into my decision here. All of that being said, give me the Tigers in the 6.5. Come on. If it was 12.5, I might go a different way. Tigers 6.5. Good. I'm good with it.
Man, there is nothing you said up until the point you said I'll take the Tigers that made me think you were going to take the Tigers. You were over there glazing Ron Hunter, loving New Orleans, loving Devlin Fieldhouse. I think you're part Green Wave. I think you seem like you're part Green Wave.
Well, we have to support them. They were part of our coalition to try to move to a different conference. Well, it was us, Tulane, and South. I don't know how much was South Florida on board. They were kind of there. They were kind of part of the coalition. I know it was us and Tulane. We were tight during that whole thing. I don't know where it stands now, but
I don't know where it stands now. But at one point, we looked at each other. We were holding hands with them.
Yes, we definitely were.
At one point, we were holding hands. I don't know if we're still holding hands, but at one point, we were kind of. If we weren't holding hands, we were flirting a little bit, you know?
Yeah, we definitely were.
We were flirting a little bit. I got a special place in my heart for Tulane. I like that place.
Yeah.
It really is. We just think of them as a whatever AAC school. It really is an amazing institution.
Oh, yeah. No, it is a great school. Yes.
It's a great school, but tonight they must be reminded. If there's one thing that Tulane must be reminded of tonight, it's that we have way more NIL money than you.
Yes.
So we have PJ Haggerty and Tyrese Hunter, and you don't. All right?
It's that simple.
I'm sorry, Tulane. But when it comes to men's basketball, congrats on getting Ron Hunter. But in the grand scheme of things, you still a broke bitch, and we got PJ Haggerty and Tyrese Hunter. So tonight you got to get what you get. Bennett says take the Tigers on the road, lay the 6.5.
What are we watching on TV?
Don't we just watch basketball tonight? I mean, what else would you do besides watch basketball tonight?
Well, the problem is there's not a lot of good basketball before like 8 p.m. Central tonight.
Probably just watch episode 2 of Severance then.
Yeah. You're gonna need something to kill some time before we tip off all these games.
Have you watched episode 2 of Severance yet? Season 2, episode 2.
I have.
I started it. I fell asleep like I do every other time I start something. But Severance is wild. Severance is like the modern day Lost.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a reasonable thing to say out loud? What I mean by that is this. I watch the episode and I'm not entirely clear of what's happening, and then I go watch 17 YouTube recaps and breakdowns.
Yeah.
I spend more time watching reaction to Severance than I actually spend watching Severance. I watched Severance one time and I go, okay, that was neat. And then I watch
every recap video I can find so that if somebody asks me what's going on, I won't sound like the biggest idiot on the planet.
Yeah. No,
but I know I'm
do
not
the
sounding
same.
smart even when it's tough. So I got to get to season 2. This is really the best. I'm excited. I don't have to put. As soon as I say rep your hood, I'm like done for the day.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's good.
So at some point today, I'm getting to episode 2 of Severance, and then I'm going to watch a bunch of recap shows about episode 2 of Severance, and I'm going to know everything about it, or at least I'm going to know everything everybody else thinks they know about it. And then by the time I'm done with that, because it'll take 7 hours, that's going to be like a 7-hour project.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm done with that, I got Memphis and Tulane, and I got the Grizzlies and the Rockets. This is like a great Thursday.
By the way, I just wanted to mention it since we're talking about what to watch. I watched a great movie last night.
What'd you watch?
Finally got around to watching The Apprentice, which is, of course, the movie about Donald Trump's rise, when he meets Roy Cohn and becomes like Donald Trump. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. It was really, really good. I think maybe because Sebastian Stan doesn't play the caricature of Trump that you see on SNL and stuff. He just kind of plays him more straightforward. He's not trying to do a perfect impression of Donald Trump, which I think actually helps the movie. But it was good. It was definitely worth watching for sure.
Where do I get it if I want to watch this? Where do I get it?
I believe you can just rent it. I believe you can just rent it on Amazon or on Prime or wherever you would rent, Apple TV, wherever you'd rent stuff.
So Ben, you think that's a good use of my time? Is it below 2 hours or above 2 hours?
It is right at 2 hours. It's
okay,
a 2.
Bennett,
Yeah.
I can deal with that. I can rock with that. Okay, Bennett. All right. So here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to watch I'm going to take a nap. Then I'm going to watch episode 2, season 2, Severance. Then I'm going to watch 40 recap videos so that I know what's going on. It's going to take me 6 hours to figure out what was going on in that 1 hour.
That's a lot of time, yeah.
But I'm going to figure it out. And then maybe I'll watch The Apprentice, and then it'll be time for basketball. This is going to be the best Thursday I've ever had.
Good.
Man.
What's the best thing we've read?
Bill Ryder, a colleague at CBSSports.com, has a column up right now, homepage CBSSports.com, about Bradley Beal's no-clause trade and how is it's just controlling the entire trade deadline. It's wild that there's 2 people in the world who have NBA contracts with no trade clauses, and it's LeBron James, the all-time scoring leader, and Bradley Beal. That'll be on Jeopardy someday, or something like Jeopardy someday. In 2025, as the trade deadline approached, who were the 2 players in the NBA who had no trade clauses in their contracts? You hit the button and you say, LeBron James and people will be going, oh, I bet it's Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. No, Bradley Beal. It's LeBron James and Bradley Beal. That's where we're at. So, Bill Ryder wrote about that. Trade deadline's next week. Should be a busy week in the NBA. You could go read it right now. It's on the homepage, CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. What I assume is that the Tigers are going to win in New Orleans. Grizzlies are going to beat the Rockets inside FedEx Forum. And we're going to have a party tomorrow.
I hope so.
Food Truck Friday. That's what I assume.
Not here.
Bennett, there are food trucks on every corner here.
Oh, good.
You tell me what you want, out of a food truck, and I can get it within 10 minutes. You name it. It's here. All right? So I'm having Food Truck Friday tomorrow. I don't give a shit what you do.
Okay.
I'm having Food Truck Friday. All right? What I'm assuming is we're going to celebrate a Tigers win, celebrate a Grizzlies win. It's going to be a good day. Food Truck Friday. My fear is that Dylan Brooks is going to make 11 threes. Ron Hunter's going to Ron Hunter. And I can't bear the thought of sitting here across from Bennett Doyle, if only by screen, and watching him for somewhere between 90 minutes and an hour talk about, I tried to tell you about Ron Hunter, and I never thought Dylan Brooks should have been moved out of here. Probably should have maybe made him move, try to keep Dylan Brooks here. I'm not doing it, all right? It's 2025. I think I got vacation days, buddy. So, Bennett, you better get your Rob Fisher contact locked and loaded, all right? I ain't doing it tomorrow. If Ron Hunter and or Dylan Brooks succeeds tonight, I can't sit across from you again, if only by screen. I know how much you love Dylan Brooks. I know how much you love Ron Hunter. If this night does not go perfectly, you could talk about it with Rob Fisher.
Okay.
I'll sleep in.
Gladly.
So enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm going to enjoy mine. This is really going to be the best day ever. We're going to meet back here tomorrow at 10. As long as the Grizzlies and Tigers both win tonight. If not, it's Rob Fisher and Bennett Doyle tomorrow talking up Ron Hunter and Dylan Brooks. I can't be a part of it. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good, rep your hood.